Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How's everybody doing today? Good afternoon, Danielle. Nice to see you. February 25th, here we are. Good afternoon, Nancy. I am very glad to be here as well, as always. I'm excited for our topic today. We're going to be talking about the cost of treating yourself like a problem to be solved, which has been a theme for this month, and it's been very valuable for many people, me included. So we're going to dive into that. We'll give some time first to let people arrive, come into this beautiful sacred space together. Welcome, Tanya. Nice to have you. And if there are new people here and you care to, please introduce yourself. Say hello if you would like. If you want to just get your voice in the room. And if you don't, that's fine too. Your presence is enough. You are enough, just as you are. No pressure, no needing to prove. Just being here. And even showing up in that way is living into not treating yourself like a problem to solve. Welcome, Lynn from St. Louis. I have been there before as a child. So, yes, wonderful, Danielle. And I am here in Mexico, where I have been living again for over a year. Loving it. Loving my life. If you don't know me, I'm a spiritual life coach. I've been exclusively serving others in this capacity for over 5 years now, and I've been a teacher here on Insight Timer for almost that length of time. So coming up in April, I believe exactly, it will be 5 years that I have been doing live streams very consistently, almost weekly. In the beginning, I wasn't so consistent, but it took, after a few months of being a teacher, I started going live every week, and I have ever since. So great to be here with you all. Please follow me here on Insight Timer if you don't already. It does help me grow my channel here, or whatever you want to call this, grow my platform. Thank you, Danielle. You know, when we evolve, it ripples outwards. When we change and when we grow, we don't do it in a vacuum. So, you know, everything that I am and all the service and value I provide is a result of me doing my own work and on my own journey. And that's how it goes. You know, I think Gandhi said, I don't know, maybe it wasn't him, but the idea of like, if we want the world to change, we get to change ourselves. I'm paraphrasing. Sure, Danielle. Wonderful, excuse me. So, today we will be, as I said, diving into this topic. What is the cost of treating yourself like a problem to solve? And do you even identify with doing that? You know, there might be some of you that you may not be doing that at all. That's great. I wish I was you. Not really, but yeah, I definitely have this. Or there may be some of you that this pattern's running you and you don't even know it. You don't even see it. And it's such a subtle layer. And as we get deeper into our spiritual growth and our spiritual development and all of that. If you're on this path, you know, you can't get off. You can't turn it off. I tell clients that sometimes. Of like, once this awakening journey starts, once your eyes are opened, you cannot close them. You can get into denial. You can pretend. You can put your head in the sand, but you can't unsee what's been seen. It reminds me of, I've been clean and sober a long time, and what we say in 12-step is, we say AA ruins your drinking, which means that like once somebody comes in and gets sober and sees the truth of the nature of addiction and how it affects them in their lives and how it all works, if people go out and drink again, it's like they can't be in the same level of denial or unconsciousness that they were before. So this is similar in the fact that, you know, the roller coaster started, the safety bar is down, the roller coaster car or whatever it's called is already moving. You can't get off. You can't stop it. Which is good, because that's, you know, what we're here for, is the evolution of our souls, the awakening, that journey up the spiral. And it never ends. It never ends. So, super happy to be here as we continue to dive in. Please don't forget, as I said, to follow me here on Insight Timer if you care to. It does help me to continue to grow what I do and grow my channel. You can join my group here in Insight Timer called Natalie's Healing Circle, where we can stay in touch in between sessions and share meditations. I have had a number of meditations I have recently put out. If they resonate with you, please listen and give a review if they were helpful. One of them is this one here that'll pop up, which is an 8-hour sleep meditation that starts with a sleep talk down infused with Reiki, and then has some very calming, soothing music for your nighttime sleep. I also have this one, which is really powerful, called Set Yourself Free from the Past, Forgive, Love, and Let Go. That's a 14-minute meditation that you can do. And you know, if this topic resonates with you today, this would definitely be one for you to try. Oh, wait, okay. Well, anyway, the first sleep one I shared was my shorter one that was 30 minutes. Here's the 8-hour one for clarity. So, yeah, if some of you like to fall asleep and have a meditation or music going all night. So, yeah, let's continue forward. So, if you think about the topic today, treating yourself like a problem to solve, what does that bring up for you? Does it land? Does it make sense? You know, this topic we're going to dive into is if you resonate with having a paradigm or a belief system that you need to be fixed, that you're broken, that you're not blank enough, and that, you know, is there this constant, never-ending thirst or striving for the next thing and the next thing to be the thing that's gonna solve the problem of you. Hi, Liz. Welcome. And it looks like, is this another Nancy? Yeah. Great to have a couple of you on here. So as I just said a few minutes ago, this issue can be so subtle. I mean, I didn't see it until, in the past few years myself. But it's this like structural place of this coming from, there's something wrong with me, I'm not enough, and that I have to keep doing in order to get somewhere else, because where I am is not okay, because I am not okay. So none of this is really going to be conscious until it becomes conscious, which is the first step, as I always say. Awareness is the first step to change. And there can be a very painful sometimes place where you've got the awareness and then it becomes painful. People talk about that, having like painful awareness. That means you're seeing something and maybe for the first time, but yet you haven't made any change with it yet. And so it's just this noticing, this insight, this clarity that comes, which is necessary for change. But if we apply this to this idea of not treating ourselves like a problem to solve, it adds this a little bit of a paradoxical layer, doesn't it? Because what happens is this whole journey can turn neurotic, where there can be constant self-monitoring, constant striving, constant self-correction, but then you never get where your mind is convincing you to go. You never arrive. And so it becomes this like stance, this mental stance. And I was just on a call with a client the other day, and we talked about this exact thing, of this paradigm. It's a set of structures. And if any of you come from a religious background, it can be very easily transferred over here into our spiritual journey. With the religious tint to it, especially Christianity, I'd say more like not so much Hinduism or Buddhism, but more the other big three, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, of like, there is sin, there's we're inherently flawed and not enough, so we need the saving grace of the religious figures in order to be okay. So then if you're on that side of the paradigm, then it's like, oh, I'm always trying to cleanse myself or purify or confess or get good enough so I can go to heaven and be good enough in the eyes of God. So if anybody comes from that, it can be very much easier to kind of substitute, not necessarily the same deity, but there can be that similar energy of like constantly striving to be better, but it's never enough. Totally, Liz. And I'm so glad you said that about the compassion, because to me, that's the medicine. That, like, if there were a pill, Dr. Natalie is going to prescribe, it would be, compassion would be that medicine. But we don't want to get into it being prescriptive either, because then that can be then it can become again, that energy of problem, I'm the problem to solve. Let me apply this pill and then I'll be fixed. Our journeys are just not like that, are they? Lynn, wow, oh my goodness. I would love to hear more if you care to share in the comments, or even I would love to connect with you one-on-one and hear more. You are a Christian for 52 years. For those who don't know, NDE means near-death experience. So I would be very curious to know if you were a Christian that whole time, you had a very profound experience that totally must have blasted your paradigm and also shifted your religious beliefs. Like, wow, that's amazing. How long ago was that, if you don't mind me asking? So, if you think about this for you all right now, if you can identify, and if you can, put an emoji in the chat, give a heart. If you can identify with, trying to treat yourself like a problem to solve, what is the cost of that? What does it cost you? How does it impact you to treat yourself that way? Not coming from a place of judgment and wrong, but just let's get clear. There is a consequence and a cost to it. Maybe you have crippling self-doubt about making decisions. Maybe it's exhausting because you never arrive. Maybe there's indecision. Maybe nothing is just ever good enough. So, Lynn. Okay. So you're 61. So 9 years ago this happened to you, not too long ago. So thank you for sharing. Wow, so I'm reading Lynn's story here about their NDE. Wow, a coworker saved you. And I've watched a lot of NDE stories online, and I just find it fascinating and also like comforting, and I imagine I'm not the only one, to hear people that have a near-death experience that like feel disappointed they're back here, because so many of us, maybe we're not afraid to be on the other side, but the getting there is where the fear can come in. But it's just, for me, it's comforting to hear that. Christianity no longer made sense. I totally get that. Especially, the belief systems that are like, you have one life, this is the only one, you came from nothing, you die, and you either go to heaven or hell or whatever. It's very binary and dualistic. And you are a medium. Amazing. Well, we all channel all the time. I'm channeling right now, right? Like mediumship being a different thing as far as sending messages from, people that have passed and things like that. That's very fascinating. So thank you so much for sharing that, Lynn. I trust that your message is helpful and inspirational. And yeah, just glad you're here. I wonder how you feel about, after having your experience, about this topic today of treating yourself like a problem to solve, feeling like you're always trying to fix yourself and get better and be further along on the spiritual path, and not feeling good enough. Does that still resonate with you even though you had your experience? You feel the striving. Yeah, it's so insidious. So I think it's really important for us just to start noticing, where does this come up? Because it can be so subtle. And so it's like waking up from that programming. So where in your life, and this is just for everybody here, or if you are watching the replay, you can type it in the comments. And by the way, this is being channeled. This is being live streamed right now also on YouTube, on my channel there. All my replays are over there for the past few years. They're all there if you want to revisit anything. But where do you see that you're relating to yourself as a problem? So you can share that in the comments, journal about it, reflect on it. And Lynn, that makes so much sense, feeling like you're behind based on when you had your experience. I just got off a call with a client a few hours ago. We just finished a year of coaching together, and they were talking about, wishing they would have known before, what they know now, and, wishing they were further along based on, the growth that they've had. And, it totally makes sense. I'm in a very deep phase in my own growth right now, and I'm starting to have that, like, why didn't I do this sooner? It's so common. So first we just want to normalize it. And that's part of the solution, as I said, like that medicine of compassion, which is the medicine, the main medicine for everything, honestly. Just being like, yeah, and you can validate that for yourself. It makes sense that you feel behind. It makes sense that you still feel you're striving, given the age you were, that you had your experience. So I always go back to that over and over again. And Lynn, it's nowhere near anything like what you experienced, and I have had a traumatic dog bite to the face and had to have emergency plastic surgery, and had a nervous breakdown as a result. So in my own quite small way compared to you, I had the awakening done in a somewhat similar fashion. Which, was one of the most traumatic events of my life as well. So I totally, appreciate you sharing that. You are seen, and you are heard, and you are loved. So if we think about this mental stance that we're talking about here, where do you always find that you're trying to improve yourself before you can take an action? This is another way that this shows up. And in my coaching, I see this often, especially when I coach other coaches. So I've coached people wanting to start a life coaching business before, or start becoming a life coach. It's very classic that it happens where people are like, well, no, I need more therapy, I need more coaching, I need more training before I can help others. So that is a very common thing where this can show up in that way. So where do you feel you need to improve yourself before you can take an action? It can show up there as well. Oh my gosh, Danielle. Hi, Donna. Glad to see you. Oh no, you were bitten by a dog on your face and almost lost your eye and lost your adult teeth. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that happened. And I know you have a dog now. I mean, that's wonderful that you were able to overcome, because so many people, when they're children and have traumatic dog experiences as kids, like that's for life for so many. And even when I got bit, which was 11 years ago now, I mean, I still don't feel the same about dogs as I did before, but you know, it took a few years for me to, because I was a dog sitter and a pet sitter around the world. So, you know, I could have used that experience to never I was dog sitting when it happened. Actually, it was my friend's dog that I was taking care of. So I could have used that to never dog sit again. And I chose to overcome my fear. And actually doing that has led me to be living here in Mexico, where I am right now as well. So, you know, our lives are complex, they're intertwined, they're multidimensional, there's so many layers. That's wonderful, Danielle. Yeah, and two, as children, it's a toss-up. You know, what traumatizes us and what doesn't, especially at those young ages. Ah, Lynn, I'm so glad that you said that. So Lynn is saying that they said before they're a medium now, and they're in a learning phase and afraid to put themselves out there, being a continual student. And that is just, I really want to normalize that pattern, as I just did, giving that as an example before. And there's even a term for it to make it even more normalized. It's called creative avoidance. Creative avoidance. So, and I see this in people starting their own businesses. Let me get my website up. Let me get all my new social media pages started. All of those sorts of things are creative avoidance, because doing those things are the easy things that are very low stakes, that do not move the needle necessarily in somebody's business, depending on what it is. So it can be easy to hide behind, let me do all this behind the scenes stuff that nobody's really gonna see. But for me to actually send a message to a potential client, or to do a live video on my page, or to tell my friends and family, this is what I'm doing, please follow my page. Like, doing all of this, creating this stuff, is a procrastination to doing those scary things. So if I was in a one-on-one coaching session with anyone doing that, I would say, do this thing that's scary. Do the thing that moves the needle. It might be, if somebody's new in, say, mediumship or whatever, to be like, okay, here I am, I'm offering, 15-minute gifted taster sessions, or I'm offering this as a discount, or hey, would you like a free session in exchange for a review? All of those baby steps to start being in that role. So yeah. Oh, and Lynn, having to feel like perfect before you start. Done is better than perfect. And I can relate. I mean, over 5 years ago now, I started coaching, and thank God, I don't know, I just was so ready. I didn't have that. I don't know why. Maybe I just was blessed. And I didn't have any income and blah. Most of y'all know my story. So I just jumped in, and I was so passionate. So yeah, Donna, the unknown is scary. So we can stay in the safety, the comfort zone, the known, the familiar. So Lynn, maybe this is your invitation to put yourself out there. I mean, there's no mistakes, right? You're here, you're on this live stream. We're kind of going into a subtopic here, maybe for a reason, maybe it's time. So wonderful, awesome. And we could even look at what's the cost of staying safe, like the negative impact for those who can relate to not taking the scary action. What does that cost you? Yeah. So I'll use this moment to invite those of you, which there may be some new people here, some people who feel ready. I am offering my gifted visioning process to any of you who have not experienced a one-on-one session with me, and kind of even everything we're talking about today is what can come up in these sessions, and it's specifically tailored to you. So we take altitude on your life and look at, where do you feel stuck? What are you tolerating? Where do you feel unsatisfied or ready to change? And then what would that look like? What would you actually want to create? And what's standing in your way of getting it? So this can be a really powerful process for people to see some things maybe they weren't aware of, or see them in a new way, and then actually feel the call to take the action. And so it could be even in this topic of, I do deep work with people in my coaching. And the deeper I go, and as I said, I'm going into a very deep healing process myself right now. I'm bringing my clients with me on this journey because that's just the way it works, which is wonderful. So, I'm going very deep. We're going very deep. If you want to come with me, send me a message. It's just time, y'all. It's so time. Not just for me. It's the collective. It's humanity. It's already happening. We can't get off this roller coaster. It's already left the station. And I love the book Conversations with God, as many of y'all know. And I re-listened to it again for probably the 10th time recently. And, it talks about, like, our souls choose to come here because there's something that feels unfinished, or something that feels, like a deeper lesson or new growth that it wants to learn. And that we choose to come here. Now, Lynn, with your very amazing experience, you might have even more insight into that as you touched into the other side while still being connected to, the 3D. But it's like we came here to remember who we are. To create ourselves who we want to be. So again, this is where it can get into, we don't want to get into it. That means I'm not good enough where I am right now. So this is the shift that we need to make and come out of. And not that it's wrong, it's just, it's not the most helpful come from, because it comes from a foundation of shame. I'm not enough. can't remember where it came from, somewhere along the way, but it was saying like the ultimate awakening is to realize that, we are gods, and meaning that like we have ultimate power and authority over ourselves, and we love ourselves, and we don't judge ourselves. So really it's that release of judgment on the deepest layer. And if we're treating ourselves like a problem to solve, we're definitely judging ourselves. Ooh, amazing, Donna. I'm glad that you love it. Lynn, have you read or heard Conversations with God, that book? I would definitely recommend it to you and everybody, and especially if you've had a near-death experience. Yeah. Feeling like you're a very high self-monitor. Yeah, I can relate to that as well. And we don't, again, the medicine is compassion. We don't, and that's where this pattern can come in. Like, we've got to start really seeing it, because there it is. I monitor myself. That's bad, that's wrong. There's something wrong with me. It needs fixed. So it's that balance of that awareness. Right? Because if you're not aware, you're not aware. It's a blind spot. So there's no judgment, or there's nothing about it because you don't even know. But it's like, now I see something. So we don't want to come from that place of, oh no, that's bad and wrong and needs fixed. So when we're in that constant correction mode, feeling like we need to be better before we take action or before we feel worthy. Maybe some of you are single in romance. Maybe you feel like you're not ready because you're not healed enough. This can just show up in so many ways. Or you only trust yourself, or you only love yourself when you're doing good, when you're going to the gym and you're eating well and you're meditating every day. Yeah, it can be exhausting. I care about what other people think. Really, it's a rare human that doesn't. And I really, I always talk about this because it's so true. We are tribal beings. We came from tribes and community where if we were ostracized, we would physically die because we could not survive alone in the times before modern age. So of course we care what other people think, because it used to be life and death. And it can still feel like life and death. We need to blast Kenny Loggins, This Is It. I can't picture that song. I mean, I'm a child of the 80s, but... Ginger! Hi! So glad to see you and hear you, or read you. And glad that you're here. Wonderful. And I would say, like, this whole topic, this is like a high level problem. Quote, problem. This is not beginner spirituality 101. Right? This topic is going to resonate with people that have been on this journey. They're past the pink cloud phase. They're past the phase where everything is, new and shiny, and you're discovering something new every day. And that's a wonderful phase, and, enjoy that. And I'm not spiritual enough to where I can stay in that. If you're continually on a pink cloud, great. I need to learn from you. But for those of us who have, been years on this journey, this is where you can start really seeing, like, wow, you can really feel it in your bones, this energy of, I'm tired of always trying to damn fix myself and the next thing and the next thing. It's not that you give it all up, right? It's this subtle, it's an inner stance where you shift from shame to compassion and acceptance for yourself. Because when you come from shame is going to say, I need fixed, I'm not good enough, I'm broken, there's something inherently flawed within me. If you come from compassion, then you might have all those old thoughts, but there will be a new voice. It's like, sweetie, I get it, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay. Because we just didn't get that as children. We only got the shaming voice, or we got, the loudest voice was the one, stop crying, you're not good enough. Why couldn't you do it like your big sister? Like, whatever. So this is really the deepest layers of healing that we can do. And especially this idea of shame, as I've started talking about more and more as I'm doing my own deep healing. So let's just take a breath together. We had a very powerful 222 live stream the other day, and the card reading was amazing. And these cards are, they will resonate for so many messages, but I'm going to show them again because they're out here. So like, this is you coming from, I'm a problem to solve, I need fixed, I'm not good enough, I'm always striving. It's fragmented, and if you come from perceiving yourself as this, you're just going to perpetuate that into your future. And again, it's not wrong, it's just not the most peaceful way. But then if you learn to see yourself clearly, like this card is called Big Bold Vision, which usually can mean like the future, but for right now, this means you seeing yourself clearly as a child of God, whatever you believe that to be. If God, source, love, the divine creator, blah, 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 whatever you want to call that pure oneness, the all that is, if we are a part of that, then that's seeing yourself clearly, that you are this. But see, our self-perception is this, which is a result of being human. But we don't want to come from, I'm broken, so I need to hurry up and solve myself. It's like, let's put this medicine of acceptance, compassion. Let's open our true eyes and shift our perception. That's all we need, is a shift of perception. That's a miracle. A Course in Miracles definition of a miracle is a shift in perception. So again, if this message resonates with you, if you want to partner with me on, realigning and blessing this part of you and coming, more and more into wholeness and recalibrating your perception that you're not a problem to be solved, that you're not broken, send me a message and let's do that. This has been a beautiful live stream together here today. If this was helpful, please consider donating if you would like. Follow me here on Insight Timer as I have shared. You can do that here and that helps me. You can follow me on, like I said, my YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram. You can check my website. Yeah, what a billion-dollar industry, Ginger. How many industries make money off of us thinking we need to fix ourselves? Totally. My donation button is here and you can do that. You don't have to, or it's not only available in the live stream. If you want to donate outside of it, you can. Stay tuned for my March live stream schedule coming out. I'm going to be doing a couple new topics on attachment theory. So if you have struggled in your romantic relationships or even parental or whatever, but it's more so through the lens of romance, if you've been in a trauma-bonded relationship, or if you're anxiously attached or limerent or all of those juicy things, please stay tuned for those live streams. And I know some of you are going through divorces, so this will be helpful. So I will still be doing, my card readings that I do. I'll be adding in a couple new topics that I just mentioned, and of course a couple of our favorite spiritual topics as well. So if anybody wants me to cover something in one of these live streams, please let me know. Thank you, Donna, for the donation. I'm so grateful to all of you for being here. If this is your first time or your 500th, I know so many of you have followed me for years, and I'm grateful for your presence, for Insight Timer. I'm grateful to, the past version of me who I took a chance, when I became a life coach #1, but whenever I became a teacher on Insight Timer 5 years ago, I had to put myself out there. And my first live stream, I had 0 followers. And I did tell a couple friends. So I had some familiar faces there, and of course many others joined, and I had to take that action in order to be where I am today. So thank you all so much. I will see you Sunday. The topic will be revealed soon because I need to look at my schedule and schedule it. So thank you all so much. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, and evening. Hi, Mary Lou. You were here for my first lives. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for saying hi right now. Would be great to connect. I would love to do that. Donna, wonderful. I am as well, because this is good. This is going to be me out of my comfort zone, actually. So there you go. I'm stretching outside my comfort zone to do these new live streams. It's always a process. And I'm not doing it from a place of I'm not good enough. I'm doing it from a place of creativity and expansion and curiosity. Mary Lou, you're right. I have my beautiful necklace right over there. Maybe I will wear it next month. Awesome. Thank you for that. So, I will see you all soon. And until then, much love and namaste.